Hello there people, this is Bruce Be Cool or nintenbruce here, back again with another deck recipe, this time for the January 2014 Bottomless format of Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is quite a nice fun little deck which catches quite a few people off guard. I barely see anyone play Skull Servants. I've only seen one in the video kinda recently, which is a bit of a shame, and it made me think, you know what, I want to bring Skull Servants back. So here is my Skullduggery deck. As the name implies, it's got a lot of skulls inside it. I did even have summoned skulls in the side deck, but you know, when I thought about it, it's not going to be amazing, unfortunately. If only it was a zombie, then I would have kept it in there. But anyway, regardless, I'll go through the usual stuff, the monsters, then the spells and the traps, as well as a few combos in between, and we shall go from there. So starting off, the most lovable of monsters, well, up there with Moki Moki anyway, Skull Servant. Yes, it's one of the weakest in the game, but with the way they've now focused things on it, i.e. King of the Skull Servants, which has been out for a while, but you know what I mean, Lady In Wight, Wightmare, and there's even a couple of other support cards which I haven't really included in this deck because it's not really a one-star deck. But yeah, you know what, Skull Servant isn't going away, and I only hope there's more support for him. We'll see though, we'll see. So Skull Servant, normal vanilla monster, 300 attack, 200 defense. If anything, you're mainly going to be using him for costs with, say, Zombie Master, or putting him in the graveyard from Foolish Burial, things like that really. So I'd be very, very surprised if you had this out in the field, unless it was for an XYZ, or rather Exceed summon, of course. We then have 3 Goblin Zombies. There's going to be a lot of multiples here because of Inferno Reckless Summon, which, for those of you that don't know about it, I'll explain it in a bit. But 3 Goblin Zombies, lovable card. Yes, only 1100 attack and 1050 defense, but you can practically pull out any monster here, bar the Lady In Wight, because it's any monster with 1200 or less defense from the deck. Even King of the Skull Servants has 0 defense, so you can pull that out for quite a big monster, essentially. So, yeah, almost any monster. Oh, apart from Pyramid Turtle. Damn it, I was so good, Never mind. So apart from Pyramid Turtle, Lady In Wight, then yeah, Goblin Zombie. Very, very nice to pull out those Mezukis and King of the Skull Servants usually. It's very rare that you would go for Wightmare, but you know what, if it's late game and you need to go for Wightmare to then special summon the King of the Skull Servants, then yeah, go for it. Now the big beastie, King of the Skull Servants. So as long as his effect isn't negated, then he gains 1000 attack times the amount of Skull Servants and King of the Skull Servants in the graveyard, which is very, very nice. On top of that, if it's destroyed by a battle, you can then special summon it out for the cost of removing something named Skull Servant or King of the Skull Servants from the graveyard from play. More often than not, you're going to have this at quite a beastly attack, and it's not really going to be destroyed by battle that often. Although you would see in a video I've done recently that that was the case, and it's just as well I had King of the Skull Servants, the second effect. So yeah, obviously again ideal, bung all the Skull Servants and stuff into the graveyard, have this at a whopping great attack, and yeah, watch your opponent cower in fear. We then have 3 Mezukis. Because say if you didn't want to use King of the Skull Servants effect, or you couldn't use King of the Skull Servants second effect, say it was destroyed by Dark Hole and whatnot, then special summon it out with Mezuki. It's that easy, and especially with 3 Mezukis now. Oh, King of the Skull Servant is going to be sticking around in your deck for a little while. It's also quite nice as well that, remember, with Mezuki you can use its effect in combination with Inferno Reckless Summon, so keep an idea of what you actually want out on the field there. We then have 3 Pyramid Turtles. Again, brings out your searches, or rather it searches for the things you need, i.e. King of the Skull Servants, it's even Skull Servant if you really wanted to. Bear in mind you can't use its effect with Inferno Reckless Summon because that's in the damage step. The Lady In Wight, it is actually possible if you wanted to just have 2 in the deck. 3 can be a bit much, but it's just nice with Inferno Reckless Summon with the XYZ or the rank summons, as well as again an extra attack boost just in case. Now something the Lady In Wight and Wightmare have in common is when it's in the graveyard, its name is treated as Skull Servant. So again, 1000 attack boost. But other than that, you're not going to use its other effect that often where it's out on the field. You know, the other, what is it? The level 3 or lower zombie type monsters can't be destroyed by battle and are unaffected by the effects of spell and trap cards, which is nice. And if you can get a foolish field out, then this could be game with having this face up on the field. But yeah, again, it's not going to see too much play. At least I haven't yet, anyway. 3 Wightmare. These are quite a nice little card to have. Again, 1 star as well. Its effect, besides the whole Skull Servant name thing, is when you you can discard it from your hand to the graveyard and select either one of your removed from play Skull Servants or Wightmares, return it to the graveyard, thus boosting your attack. Or select one of your removed from play the Lady In Wight or King of the Skull Servants and special summon it, which is very, very nice. Again, Lady In Wight isn't going to see too much play, but if you're going to go for game, then it might be ideal if you've got like a ton of Skull Servants or King of the Skull Servants out. Why not just to wipe out your opponent's life points? So yeah, very, very handy. And then we have Zombie Master. Again, its effect can be used with Inferno Reckless Summon, which is discard a monster card in your hand and then target any level 4 or lower zombie type monster in either player's graveyard. So if you really wanted to, you can have a Plague Spreader zombie. Not that there's any synchros in my side, or sorry, extra deck, but you get the point. And it's very nice to do an easy XYZ summon. Again, Inferno Reckless Summon as well. Yeah, Zombie Master, very, very nice. Going into the spells now, Amulet of Ambition, only 1 in here because you can only use it on a normal monster, which would be Skull Servant. And for those of you that are unaware of this card even existing, its effect is when your normal monster attacks with it, it gains an extra 500 attack for each level higher than the Skull Servant, or sorry, the monster you got it equipped it to is. So for Skull Servant, facing off against the Blue Eyes White Dragon, that's 7 levels ahead, so that's 3500 extra attack. Making it 3800, so that's a nice example there, but obviously you can only use 1 of these. Putting in more than 1 is suicide unless you're running another 3 normal monsters anyway. 3 Books of Life, again lovely with Inferno Reckless Summon, again lovely as a no cost for King of the Skull Servant coming back out again, and again is very, very nice for either that emergency XYZ summon. Yeah, Book of Life, you have to have them. 1 Burial from the Different Dimension. So say you got your King of the Skull Servants on the field at 2000 attack. There's 3 of your, say, Wightmares removed from play, and your opponent's about to attack you with Gauze. Then sure, flip this up. That's going to boost you up to 5000 attack. Other than that, it doesn't just have to be used for King of the Skull Servant's effect. By all means, bring Mezuki back in as well. Absolutely brilliant. 1 Dark Hole, Foolish Burial. Again, you're going to be aiming for Mezuki or a Skull Servant usually. 3 Inferno Reckless Summon, so you have to use it on a 1500 attacker monster or less of yours when you special summon it, and your opponent has to have a face-up monster. Could be an XYZ monster, could be a synchro, doesn't matter. And then you special summon 3 of that card. Notice again there's a lot of 3s here, so you can't use it for Zombie Master. And you can't use it for Mezuki. But oh, and either King of the Skull Servants. Remember that because it's a question mark and not an actual base attack. So other than that, bring out those Wightmares, bring out those Skull Servants, do a rank 3 Exceed summon, and yeah, bring out something fancy like Lionheart, or if you really wanted to, Mira the Giant Star, or even Baby Tiragon. These are lovely, lovely little cards. And remember, you're going to be usually detaching the materials again, so you can boost King of the Skull Servant's attack. Yeah, Inferno Reckless Summon, lovely, lovely little card. 1 for 1, that one's self-explanatory. Pot of Duality, going into the traps, Bottomless Trap Hole, Compulsory, Mirror Force, Torrential. So that's your backup really. There isn't any destruction, mainly because if your opponent is trying to use their spell and trap cards on your King of the Skull Servants, there's lots of ways to bring them back out again with Book of Life and Mezuki and stuff. And so far it's worked, but just in case in the side deck there is 3 MSTs, there's 3 Royal Decrees, I might as well go through the rest of it while I'm here. You've got an extra Pot of Duality, Dimensional Prison, Eradicator, can't even say it, Eradicator Epidemic Virus, although that is kind of questionable. This side deck I haven't spent too much time on. Another Amulet of Ambition, Mind Control, Allure of Darkness, Spirit Reaper, Necroface, because you never know, and Endless Decay. Remember, you can bring that out with Pyramid Turtle. So that's the side deck. Going to the extra deck, Baby Tiragon, very, very nice. detach a XYZ material, and then you can target one face-up level 1 monster you control, more than likely King of the Skull Servants, and attack directly. Especially if this is on a beastly 8000, that is gonna finish off your opponent. 1 Mira the Giant Star. So if this card would be destroyed, you could attach an XYZ material from it instead, and also level 4 or lower monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is nice. Remember, that is levels, not ranks. Lionheart, absolutely love this card. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Relinquished, but in an XYZ format. It's beautiful. So what it does is, while it's in attack mode, it can't be destroyed by battle. And if you, its effect is when you take battle damage, your opponent takes battle damage too, and on top of that you can even just attach an XYZ material monster and you don't take the battle damage, period. And especially with 3 materials, you're going to be sitting there pretty for a little while. 1 number 83 Galaxy Queen. So you can attach an XYZ material monster from the card, and until your opponent's next end phase, the monsters you currently control cannot be destroyed by battle. And if they attack a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. So again, that could be a finisher if your opponent is on the defensive, setting the Rykos and stuff like that, and you've got King of the Skull Servants and others going on the field as well. Going into... oh, you're supposed to be over there. Anyway, going into the rank 3s now, Ghostrick Alucard. I won't go through all these effects because they're crazy, you know. End of the day, you can use whatever ranks you want, but definitely use these level 1s, I would say. And I think 2 Lionhearts and 2 Baby Tiragons are nice. So, Ghostrick Alucard, 1 Grenosaurus, 1 Leviair The Sea Dragon, especially handy with your type of removal. Going into the rank 4s now, Diamond Dire Wolf, Evilswarm Ouroboros. I would heavily suggest that card. I have bought it out, and you've probably seen it from my recent vid. 1 Lavalval Chain, again you can put stuff in the graveyard. 2 Maestroke, just because I like Maestroke, and 1 Photon Papilloperative. That is the deck. I absolutely love it. It's a fun little deck to be playing. It has held its own as well, and by all means, as always, make any changes that you fancy with it. You can change quite a few things here, but obviously make sure you got a triple Skull Servant, triple King of the Skull Servant, and I would suggest triple Wightmare, but that's entirely your call. Remember, you want those rank 1 XYZs. So, pop your comments and thoughts in the section below. Let me know of anything you would want to use it with, or any questions with it, or whether you just enjoyed the deck in general. And until next time, guys, you take care of yourselves, and I will see you again soon.